talk.com.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Central Valley Buzz. I'm your host, Chuck Leonard. Now check it out. If you guys want to win food from Watts Family Barbecue, let's do it right now. Go to centralvalleytalk.com, go to the Enter to Win tab, and in that subject line, go ahead and put BBQ. We'll know what you mean, and we'll get a hold of you and get you some of that fine food from Watts Family Barbecue. Let's bring in our next guest from the California Autism Center.
That's right.
Is that it? Amanda?
Yes.
And Will.
Yep.
How's it going, guys?
Good, really good.
Now, do you have an event coming up? Is that what we're doing?
We do. We actually have our grand opening on the 24th of this month, and from 10 to 12, we're going to have a free screening day. And then from 12 to 2, Dr. Adams is going to do a presentation, and then we'll have some food out there, and people can come check out the new center and really see what we're all about.
Now, it seems to me that in the last, 10 years or so, maybe more, that autism people are just more aware of it. And were children being misdiagnosed before?
Yeah, I think they missed a lot of diagnoses about 10 years ago, and the incidence has been dropping steadily over the past several years, and the CDC just released a few weeks ago their newest statistic that said 1 in 68.
Wow.
Which is just scary for everybody.
Right.
So, yeah, they probably missed a number of cases years back, and now there's possibility that they might be pushing the diagnosis in order to get better services for kids. But however that really pans out, there's definitely a true increase.
Well, there's all different kinds of levels of autism,
That's right.
and some barely noticeable, and some very noticeable.
Right.
What can parents at home be looking for in their
their
children?
Well, with their small children, we're looking for following eye focus and gesturing. So if a child is pointing and showing interest in things, then even before they talk, those are very positive signs. And the lack of that is concerning. And then, of course, if speech doesn't come in normally, that's a big concern. But it's really the idea about being socially related to people and being able to share interest and attention for the little kids.
Right.
And then we've got a segment of kids that, as you pointed out before, on the higher end, and are not noticeable when they're little, so they don't get picked out until maybe 3rd or 4th grade, when their little tiny childhood is kind of over and they're emerging into the older area in grade school, and their social interactions become more difficult, and some of the learning things become more difficult. And then some of the higher functioning autism or Asperger kids just are identified at that point.
Is it tough for the parents? I mean, I know it's going to be tough for the parents, but what I'm saying is it tough when they find out when they're in the 3rd and the 4th grade, because they've had this child for 7 or 8 years, thinking that everybody thinks their child's the best, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden they find out that there's a disability of some kind. Is it tough on the parents?
Yeah, it's always tough on the parent. Even if your child doesn't have a diagnosis and they struggle with something, it's always tough to see your child struggle. But most of the parents I talk to, it's not an all of a sudden kind of thing. We've known for a while that he's kind of got a hard time with this, but we thought he'd grow out of it, or
Right.
he's a little bit shy, but then it turned into something worse. So they've seen signs before, they've seen characteristics before, and they just, as they start aging and their social structure becomes a little bit different around that, 9, 10 years old, or pre-puberty starts, then things start to break down a little bit more. So there's always a kind of a grieving process to go through with that.
Right.
But in some cases, they're kind of relieved, like,
Sure.
well, thank goodness, now we know what it is.
Now we
and
know what
we
it
can
is,
do with
right.
it. Mhm.
Now, is autism something that if it's caught early, you can work with it and help the person be a more functional adult?
Yeah. The earlier, the better. And this is always a message that it takes a little bit of diplomacy in delivering, because that's not to say that older kids can't improve vastly, and they can. So even if a child isn't caught till they're much older, there's no reason to lose hope. They can still improve. But the earlier the diagnoses, the better, even before the age of 3, before the age of 2. Because of the brain plasticity issue. It's so easy to impact that young of a brain. The neurons are still forming permanent connections, and that's not solid yet. So it's really easy to affect younger brains, and so the earlier the better.
I get the feeling, and I could be totally wrong, and I hope that I am, that this is somewhat overdiagnosed sometimes.
There are some theories about that. Yeah.
Am I a little bit right?
Well, you hear about it all the time now. So part of that is from groups like Autism Speaks. They've done a fabulous job of publicizing it everywhere. We've gotten huge stars involved and lots of publicity for it. But the other part of that probably is the way that states have structured their services for families. So unless you carry the diagnosis, you can't get the kind of help that you need. So sometimes families push a little bit in order to get the label that they need and to get the help they need. So there may be a little bit of a push in some of the gray cases. I don't think there's blatant misdiagnosis, but there may be, you're kind of a gray area, so in order to get the help, we'll push you.
Well, there could be a misdiagnosis in many different ways, I would think. One, you have it when maybe you don't, but another one is like, that's a bad kid.
Yeah.
And maybe he's not a bad kid. Maybe he's a frustrated kid.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because that's a really frustrating thing for families and parents. They're out in the restaurant, they're out in the store, and their child's acting up a little bit, and we hear over and over again from families that they get looks from other people. Sometimes families even go up and say, you need to control your child or
Right.
something like that. And that's something that autism is, April is Autism Awareness Month. So we're hoping that the public can take a little kinder view on that and think maybe there's something else going on, and you never know. When you're just passing some child that's acting up, it'd be hard to say. So,
Well, I just hope no one would ever walk up to me and tell me to control my child. I'd tell them to control their mouth. Right. Okay. So, Will, we're opening up the new center. Is that what we're doing?
Yes,
Where is
we
it
are.
at?
It's located at the California Learning Connection, and that's on Shaw in between Van Ness and West. So if you go down from Pardini's, left on Hughes, we're right in the back over there. And we're actually really excited to get started. We've actually been kind of open for the last couple of weeks. Dr. Adams has been doing one-on-one therapy and working with some parents, but we're actually opening it up to the public to come by, check it out, and we're really hoping to start growing in the next month or so.
Okay. And why do you think it's important for people to come by?
Well, I think it's important because we're a large community resource. As far as center-based programs in the Valley, you have the program at Fresno State, which Dr. Adams and I actually came from, and then you have our program. So there's 14 other vendors in the Valley that do in-home services. But for people that need a center-based model, we're the only other program. And our goal is really to expand into a larger facility and potentially turn into 100 to 200 kid center at one point. So it's really looking to expand services for the Valley and really bring on this world-class model that really nobody else is doing. As far as some of the different curriculum that Dr. Adams is developing, it's things that are out there, but no one's putting it together into one centralized model. So I'm really excited to see what we do in the next couple months, years, and to really grow this into a large community resource.
And a place where kids with this can go and hang out with other kids with the same affliction, right?
Exactly.
And their siblings can talk to each other, and their families can interact as much as they want to. So I think it's nice to have that community feeling around it. We're also the only locally founded one. So of all the other 14 vendors who operate here, and there are some really fantastic companies, but their headquarters are elsewhere. Like they're based in LA or they're based in San Francisco. Right. And so we're hoping that living locally and developing locally, that we have a better maybe a little bit more sensitivity to what the community needs and can connect with community resources and really have an interest in developing exactly what we need here in the area.
How will the kids be referred to you, or how will that work?
Yeah, word of mouth, doctors,
shows
pediatricians.
Like this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's really there's really two main funding sources. One is insurance, and two is the Central Valley Regional Center. And the Central Valley Regional Center is a state-funded agency that provides services. And again, we're really looking to take kids as soon as we can get them. So as long as we can come on shows like yours, Chuck, and get the word out and really just let people know that we're here, and if you need us, we're willing to help.
Excellent. And when is the opening?
It's 24th of this month.
Excellent. I'm going to come by and check it out myself.
All right.
It's very nice to meet
Thanks
you
for having
guys.
us.
Thanks
Thank
for doing
you.
such a great thing for the Central Valley.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with live local music.
I'm Mike Briggs from Mike Briggs Properties. We're in some very uncertain economic times. Many people have lost their homes. Many people face losing their homes now. Know your rights, know your options. Come talk to the experts right here at Mike Briggs Properties. By the way, we'll talk to you for free. We do not charge any fees at Mike Briggs Properties. Call us at 486-6758. Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758.
Lunch phone, what is your location, please?
I'm in Fresno's Tower District.
What is your budget, please?
I only have $7.
Well, that leaves you only one choice. Go directly to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District. He is having a lunch special for $6.89.
Well, that won't leave me enough money to get a drink.
No worries. Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District will get you lunch and a drink for just $6.89.
Wow! I'm going straight to Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District to get the lunch special and drink for just $6.89.
Thank you for calling Lunch Phone. This has been a recording.
What?
Let our family at Avakian Insurance Services help protect your family's future. If you've bought a new home, changed vehicles, or just need a comprehensive review, let our agents help you. As your family grows, we can offer you competitive rates on life and health insurance. Call Avakian Insurance Services for a quote today. Avakian Insurance Services, 268-7386, or visit us online at avakianinsurance.com. Come join the A-Team.
This message was brought to you by Javita Coffee. Change your coffee, change your life, one cup at a time. Check us out at ilovejavita.com.
Watts Family Grill. We grill slow, smile, secret sauce, cold beer, and old friends. Park out back. Look for us on Blackstone, south of McKinley. Watts Family Grill.
Hi, Stan Gross of Horn Photo. Are you looking for a camera that takes better pictures than your phone? Why not give Horn Photo a shot? We can show you fantastic cameras from Nikon, Canon, Sony, and GoPro. Your time is valuable, so before you buy from Costco, Best Buy, or the internet, come see us. We've got great prices and deals, super knowledgeable staff, and we've been selling cameras in Fresno for 76 years. We're in the Villaggio at Blackstone and Nees, or go to hornphoto.com. Fresno's Camera Center.
Central Valley.